Who is this? Frogz Master. Wait a minute, what was that guy named again? Frogz Master. Is this actually the one and only and true Frogz Master? It is I, Frogz Master.
Hey everybody, it's Frogz Master. It's time to make the infamous video that no one wanted. But hey, at least I'm making a video. I'm able to actually do one now before I leave to a place you would never guess where. Okay. Why these two? Well, you see that title. I'm very sure that Mbop Frogz and Hard to Handle Frogz were just... I think you get what I'm doing. They just weren't made. I'm almost very sure of that. So first, I know what you're saying. Hey, Frogz Master, they were on the checklist. And hey, Frogz Master, you usually say that if there's a Frogz on the checklist, that means it was made. Okay, maybe. But here's the thing. That was on the very first checklist. And you know what? On the updated one, you know what they took off? Mbop and Hard to Handle. But they did keep other Frogz that were retired. They just put the word retired in the little column where that frog was. They didn't do that for Hard to Handle and Mbop. They just took them off. And also on the updated checklist, they fixed the wannabe orange situation. Yeah, pretty sure we know that that orange wannabe never got produced. It's just the green and the yellow. There's fuzzy and shiny versions of both, but just green and yellow. No orange made it into stores. Just like Mbop and Hard to Handle. I don't think they did. Now, of course, there must have been prototypes, right? I mean, there's those pictures, so there was at least prototypes. Because I'm not saying there wasn't. There definitely was very few, I'm sure. But still, a couple. And I'm very sure no collector has those yet. Because, you know, no. But look, I think you get why these two are here. They scrapped those two and did these two instead. Come on, you know which is which. This was what Mbop was going to be. This was originally going to be Mbop, and then this was originally going to be Hard to Handle. And really, when you look at them, these two are the Frogz that look closest to those two. This does look similar to Mbop. The hair, fuzzy skin, the mouth. And while, yes, the movement is different from what Mbop would have been, because Mbop, you can tell, moves like a My Sharona frog. This doesn't. It is still similar. It's a moving head and then moving arms that, you know, don't really move together. It's separate movements, move at separate times, just like the My Sharona frog mechanism. So it's still a little similar, but yes, there's more differences here. But with looks mainly, besides the clothing like the bow and the shirt and pants and gloves, it's still similar. Also, another thing that just makes this more similar, they still, you know, the hands still had like, there was still something on the hands. There's gloves on here, you know? On the Mbop Frogz, it had like, I don't know exactly what you would call them. They were kind of like gloves too. You know, not like this. They weren't, you know, boxing gloves, but they were still sort of gloves. It's like the ones that the Get the Party Started Frogz had. So another thing that just makes it clear But with Unbelievable here, of course, there's a lot more similarities, I guess. Well, just like one more, but still. I guess a couple, really. It's still fuzzy, you know? And while this one, Unbelievable, does not have hair, like Hard to Handle, it's got the same type of shirt. I think the Hard to Handle one, the shirt had a different color, but the design I'm almost sure was still the same. I don't think it had the picture of the frog here, but it was still a white. I think it was just a plain white shirt, I think. I don't remember for sure. I've not looked at the picture of it in a bit, but that Hard to Handle did have glasses, but yeah, this one doesn't. But you could tell in that picture that Hard to Handle did move like Unbelievable, and Unbelievable obviously moves like Unbelievable. So, more similarities here. The shirt design being the same, and it also having the white shirt here, and then of course the movement. So this one is even closer to Hard to Handle. Plus, I mean, these are still 90s frogs. That's another thing I should have brought up, because Mbop and Hard to Handle are going to be in the 90s genre too. Of course, some of you knew this, but maybe some of you didn't. I don't know. But look, they just weren't produced, okay? I'm like 99% sure they took them off that checklist with the orange wannabe too. Yeah, there's no way. I just don't see it being possible. One more reason as to why I think that's true is because, yeah, those two frogs, they were fuzzy. So you'd think, oh, well, maybe they were in stores for a very little bit. Well, these two are fuzzy as well. So they would have been in stores in the very beginning. Yeah, Hard to Handle and Mbop were not produced. Sorry, but you know what that means? It means I'll never get Hard to Handle, and I'll never get Mbop. You remember when I kept making videos saying I would get it? Well, I don't know. Getting a prototype Frogz is gonna be hard. Well, you know what? I'll probably never get those, but these two are pretty cool, right? Especially when they're fuzzy. You know, I mean, I know I like Fuzzy Baby One More Time more than the shiny one, that's for sure. With Unbelievable, I think I like the fuzzy more, but at a point I did like the shiny more. I don't know. I would have to see how the shiny one looks in person. You know, it's like that. Anyways, that's it. Let's end it now. Peace.